Good evening, everybody. Got Anthony Pruitt, and this is the Patriots Corner. Gonna have a great show tonight for everyone. Really excited for tonight. I've just got. I tell you, I come across a video tonight that we're gonna watch. That it took me back to the days where me and number 17 kind of met, right? Not in person. This is hypothetically, right? When I started reading posts and starting to put things together. And I think it'll be great for a lot of you to watch. It's going to take up a majority of our show. But I ran across it tonight from within some of the comments on my Facebook post, and it is really good, okay? Especially for people that might just be curious about the whole idea of number 17, or as we call it, Q, or whether you've been into it. It'll take you down memory lane and really connect some dots. So welcome everybody. I'm excited to have everybody on tonight. I'm going to let it load up for a moment. I actually need to log into chat and do a couple things here before we get going. Let's see. All right, there's chat. So I see a lot of people saying stuff like, do you think 17 is JFK Jr.? So I would love to entertain the idea of JFK Jr. being alive. I mean, it just sounds like the perfect story. I don't know it for sure. I'm not trying to bust your bubble or even be overly flagrant about that's how I feel, because I want to believe it. Okay, I don't know. I can't tell you that, but the video we're going to watch tonight, I'm going to have to give you a little, introduction to how the video was created and what its intentions were, but maybe even look past that, or you can decide for yourself. I'm not going to sway you either way, but it's pretty convincing, okay? And it was a good watch. Even somebody, a few people commented on the post on Facebook and said, this doesn't have enough views. And once I was like, you know what, I'll watch it. It's like 29 minutes long, but it runs through from beginning to end, a large portion of it, but gives great examples. And for me, just solidified the simple fact that Q's real. Okay, there's no way that because I saw these posts come out. Okay, guys, and when you connect the dots and you go through the rabbit hole and you find a good path and you start seeing everything come together, and you cannot disprove it. Okay, like I mean, literally, I wish a fact checker would go down this rabbit hole and watch the video we're about to watch and try and debunk it is anything but very convincing. Okay, so I'm talking this whole video up because it's really the main part of the show, but we're going to get into a couple, one thing first. We're going to get into that little show I found on Rumble, and then we're going to end on another subject. So it's going to be not a whole lot of subjects, but we're going to hit each one of them really, really good. So first off, let me get a drink of water. That's first off. And, okay, so first off, I want y'all to see this new cup I got. And listen, I don't want this to turn into, and I'm not asking people to send me something and I put you on my show. I'm doing this because I genuinely appreciate what this lady did and what her business is doing. And she sent me a gift. It's like a little Yeti cup, but it's powder coated, and she designed the Patriots corner on her. Actually, let me get this up to the camera. It's actually like the exact logo that you'll see on Facebook in the background, but it's a really nice cup, and it's like laser etched in there. So I meant to pull up like her page and show you guys. I'll give it to you in the comments right now, but I checked her out, vetted her on Facebook. I Facebook stalked her a little bit, make sure she was good. I don't have a P.O. box or anything like that set up, so there's a couple people that have my actual address. But she insisted on sending me something. Goodness gracious. And she said, I already designed it and I want to give it to you. So I politely obliged and appreciated her offer. But I want to give her a shout out because this cup's really nice. And she has a business called Central City Concepts. Her name is, I think I'm pronouncing it right, Shawnette and Mike Koenig. They are out of, let's see, North Dakota, Carrington, North Dakota. And man, they made this cup for me and I really appreciate it. But I checked out their site. I think they have it on here. Maybe not. If not, I'll have to link it up on my Facebook page. But check them out. It's really cool. You probably search Central City Concepts and you'll see it. And Shawnette and Mike, if you're on tonight, thank you all very much for my cup. I love it. I will use this every single show. So, all right. Now that we've shown you my new cup and bragged about it, I made a post earlier today. Yeah, bro, I'm on Doge right now, and you just put it up, Justin Martin. I'm going to talk about this post I made about Dogecoin. So earlier today, I posted a tweet of Elon Musk, and it was taken on he posted it on February 24th, so just a couple days ago, would have been Wednesday. And it is here, I'm going to pull it up and show it to you. Hopefully you can see that. So it is the Dogecoin symbol on a flag on the moon with the same breed that the Dogecoin mascot is, of dog in a spacesuit on the moon. And it says, he puts literally, and it says, the above image depicts Dogecoin's logo on the moon, which is a reference to a meme often used in the Dogecoin community about the coin going to the moon, as in increasing in value greatly. Musk has been tweeting about Dogecoin a lot this week, and while his tweets might sound like jokes, they have been very influential and helped increase the value of the coin by over 500% in the last month. Okay, so I made this post, and I actually yesterday or 2 days ago, I think, put a little bit of money into Dogecoin. Like, when I say a little bit, like I put like $40 in it, right? Like, I know that's not a little bit of money, but when you look at, I put quite a bit more in it today. Not because, and guys, I'm not bringing Dogecoin up because I'm wanting you to go buy it. I'm not trying to pump it like, I mean, Elon Musk is. I mean, he is flaunting it. Matter of fact, we'll get to another slide here in a moment that shows him doing that. But I think I have some history up on Dogecoin.
There's Bitcoin, there's Litecoin, there's Ethereum. So just what?
Okay, wait a minute. Time out.
Essentially, it's
Okay, that started playing. My bad. I guess I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, I thought I had all this organized, but evidently I didn't. Bear with me. Okay. I don't have what I thought I had. Anyways, so Elon Musk, who, by the way, folks, I am a huge fan of. Like, I don't like post all over Facebook about it or nothing, but like, I'm a huge fan of Elon Musk. I mean, the guy is an absolute genius. Okay, has literally designed some of the coolest aeronautical equipment I've ever seen in my entire life, and it's simple. It's not simple, but it's simple in the idea of it. And the guy has brought our space exploration and capabilities back to the United States with the help of Trump, nonetheless. Saw the writing on the wall, got out of California, moving his whole outfit to Texas, from what I hear. Hard to hate the guy, right? Unless he's one of these pedos that's out here. I mean, if I find that out, then I'll be upset. But I don't think so. I think the guy is just very smart and a complex gentleman, but anything that he is promoting I'm behind it, I guess, if I can put my hand in it some. So I'm not telling you all to go buy Dogecoin, okay? But I put a little bit of money into it, and I think that there's potential to make some really good money on it, especially with Elon Musk pumping the market the way he is. Okay, anything Elon Musk posts on Twitter is seen by millions of people. Okay, and Bitcoin right now, or not Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency in general, is I'm way behind the eight ball. Like I had a guy back at a place I worked at who had a computer mining Bitcoin back in like, it must have been 2014 I think it was 2014 when Bitcoin kind of came out and got popular. But anyways, like this guy was like, yeah, I get like a half a Bitcoin a day at home mining for it. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like this was like the first time I'd ever heard of it. And cryptocurrency, didn't understand it, still don't fully understand it, but we're going to watch this video on kind of what cryptocurrency is, how it works, what is blockchain. It's just a quick 2-minute video that will at least help you grasp the idea. If you want to know, I mean, literally all I did was search YouTube, what is cryptocurrency? Like everybody asking me, can you explain what cryptocurrency is? Yes, I will on my video, but I'm hoping that we can all start just, I mean, DuckDuckGo it, you know, just get on the internet, look at it, search something, research. That's the whole like idea behind this whole Q movement. I think that's why Q's clues were given in code and in clue and in questions so that you would go look for it. That's kind of, I'm not trying to be nasty by saying that, but this was a simple search to get an idea of what cryptocurrency is if you're interested in it. Now, let me pull this down because I'm going to have to pull up my, you can probably still see it in the camera, but I want to, there's been a lot of people asking me like, well, and they're just new to it, like how do you invest in it if you want to? I'm going to put it in chat right now. And guys, listen, this is what this is, because I'm not going to type this out and I'm only going to stick it in here once, okay? So don't, if you're going to end up looking at it, go into chat real quick, copy it, put it in your notes on your phone or whatever you're watching on, just copy it, and you can do it later or whatever, but don't lose it because I'm only putting it up once. So I still use Robinhood for investing, okay? And I'm not a spokesperson for Robinhood. I'm not getting anything out of saying this, okay? It's just what I use. Because it's simple, it's easy. I can invest money in stocks. I'm not saying that I trust them. I trust them just about as much as I trust any hedge fund or anybody else. Okay, we all saw what happened with GameStop and all of that. Okay, they're still in business. I still use them. All right, they gave me my money back when I pulled it all out whenever I thought they were going down, and I'm taking my chances, I guess, in that manner. But I'm gonna post a link of a reference for a referral for Robinhood. Now you can click on it. If you do, we both get, I mean, you can go sign up right now. You're not going to get any free stock. If you sign up with this code and this link, we both get free stock. And I think the first time, I've only done it once. I've only gotten one free stock ever with it. And it was when I first opened it, because I've never shared this, but I got like I forget, I think it was Plug, Plug. It was worth like $4 at the time I got it. When I finally, I only kept that one stock. Actually, I think I bought some stock, it went up and I cashed out on it. I wasn't necessarily day trading, but I was moving it to something else that looked better and it made me a little bit more money. But it went up to like $9 or something like that, maybe even higher when I sold it off. So I mean, it actually made me money, but it was free stock. So if you use this code, you'll get a free stock. I'll get a free stock. I'm not doing this so that all y'all go do it and I get a bunch of free stock. If I do, cool. I'm just gonna probably sell it out if it's nothing good and put it in Dogecoin, just because I'm like, you know, why not? But I'm gonna post this in the chat now. You can go to this and check out Dogecoin on Robinhood, and if you want to create an account, it will, let's see if it'll take it. Oh, it's 303 characters and it'll only let me do 200 characters at once. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll post this up on my Facebook page right now, since I'm in it. Sorry. Paste. Okay. I just posted it. So, back to this video. Just to give you an idea of what cryptocurrency is, we're going to listen to this for 2 minutes. And then we'll look at a couple other tabs on this.
There's Bitcoin.
There's Litecoin, there's Ethereum. So just what is cryptocurrency and how does it work? Essentially, it's digital money that is bought and sold online. There are no bills or coins, it's not based on another asset like gold, and it doesn't go through traditional financial institutions like banks. Instead, these currencies operate in a completely decentralized system that uses so-called blockchain technology to track transactions. To see how this works, let's look at how you buy something with cryptocurrency. Say that Alice wants to buy a bike from Dan using Bitcoin, her cryptocurrency of choice. Alice begins by logging into her Bitcoin wallet with a private key, a unique combination of letters and numbers. With a traditional financial transaction, the exchange gets sent to banks on each side, who record the money being subtracted from one account and added to another. But remember, in this scenario, there are no banks or middlemen. Instead, Alice's transaction is shared with everyone in the Bitcoin network. These networked computers add Alice's transaction to a shared list of recent transactions, known as a block. Every 10 minutes, the newest block of transactions is added on, or chained, to all the previous blocks. That's how you get a blockchain. To ensure that each block of transactions on the chain is verified, a subset of Bitcoin's network joins a race to solve a very difficult math puzzle. And if they solve it first, their record of the block of transactions becomes the official record. They're rewarded with Bitcoins of their own, and the network gets a new block on the chain. This entire process is known as mining, but instead of chipping away at rock, you're solving complex puzzles. The fact that many computers are competing to verify a block ensures that no single computer can monopolize the Bitcoin market. To ensure the competition stays fair and evenly timed, the puzzle becomes harder when more computers join in. The Bitcoin protocol says mining will continue until there are 21 million Bitcoins in existence. That's set to happen around 2140, if Bitcoin lasts that long.
Okay, so that was 2 years ago. All right, I think she named 3 cryptocurrencies that there were: Ethereum, Light something, and Bitcoin. There was probably more, but that's old. Okay, now the concept though is the same. All right, so there's no federal banks involved. There's no middleman. Right, it's literally everybody else. It's hard for me to even put into words. It's not something that I've learned about for a long time, but I'm looking into it more now. Here's another one of Elon Musk's responses. So Elon Musk responds that it would be great if he was investigated for his Dogecoin memes. Now this is a little out of order, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. So they pictured this dude with a crown on, Elon, and a cape next to his rockets, and it says the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, Elon Musk, responded on his favorite network, Twitter, about an alleged investigation to the different comments about the Dogecoin and the consequences of these. That is, the sudden rise in its price. First Squawk, a person with access to proprietary information regarding finance and economy, revealed that Musk could be investigated by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, according to sources with knowledge of the matter. This pretty much just goes into what everybody's saying bad about him, and then because this is probably a left-wing article, but just getting the point across, he pretty much says it would be great if they looked into me. What I think he means by that is publicity. I mean, think about that. If everybody went out and bought Dogecoin and we rose the value of it, we'd make money, because here's the difference with Dogecoin and Bitcoin. So Dogecoin has literally like billions of shares that can be mined, like think it was 127 billion, not million, billion. And a large majority of that, like 113 billion, have already been mined. Now, Elon Musk is currently mining Dogecoin. Okay, so we're going to look at Dogecoin right here. All right, now I want you to see it. I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, I'm not a stock guru by any means, so don't think that I am, and take all of my advice with a grain of salt. Okay, but Dogecoin opened up on the market, looks like here around March of 2020. Okay, it was a little bit before that, I think. I think that's just where this is bringing me up. And I know that's hard to see, but you can get an idea. I'm going to blow this up here in a second. And I need to be quicker on this because we got a video to watch and another subject to cover. So if this runs over tonight, I'm sorry. So it stayed pretty consistent. It opened up around 0.2 of a penny per share. Okay? Someone said I'm out. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. 0.2 of a penny. Now, through May, June, July, August, September, it went up to like 0.3 of a penny and leveled back out around the mid, 26 hundredths of a penny. So starting in November, December, it started kind of going up a little bit, and it hit 4.5 cents, or I'm sorry, 46 hundredths of a cent, so almost a half a cent. Then it went up in December, this would have been 12.28, to almost a penny. Okay, all through January it dipped back down, and then all of a sudden, the day after the 18th, which would be, I think, starting on the 18th of January, I don't know why that reloaded, it peaked. Like it jumped real high. Now I'm going to expand this out to today. And this isn't like the most, let me see. Let's go into the last 6 months to kind of blow this up so that you can see it. It jumped up to almost 5 cents January 29th. And it's been up and down just like any stock would. But then, let me zoom out. And I've got this is the most unintuitive web page for this I've ever seen. February 7th of 2021, it peaked by this graph to almost 8 cents. Let me put that into perspective for you. If a month ago, and I know I work with a guy that bought Dogecoin a month ago, right? On January 27th, he could have bought a stock of Dogecoin, or a share of Dogecoin, crypto. Could have bought a Dogecoin, I guess you could call it, just like Bitcoin, for right at a half a penny. Okay? I'm sorry. Yeah, a half a penny. By, this thing. February 8th, February 7th, February 8th, it was at 8 pennies. So literally, if we did the math on that, like you could have made, like the percentage of growth over just the last month was at, it doesn't give a percentage. Oh yeah, 3,043.93% return in a month. 3,000, ladies and gentlemen, percent return on your money. Now, this is like penny stocks, okay? There's risk to this. Just like any stock, that's the way I feel about it. somewhat of an educated person's gambling. You know what I mean? It's just another way to gamble money, in my opinion. That's the whole stock market. I don't believe in it that deep, but I have made money off of it based off of just where companies were going and reading up on them. But today it's down to about 5 cents a share. Now it's dipped down in February 26th today from the 7th. So in the last 20 days it's dipped down. But here's the deal. This is why I put money in it. Elon Musk is behind it. It's made huge returns as a penny stock in just the last month. And what if it went to $1? Okay? I think I did the math earlier, and with the shares I have, which cost me $240. Now, that's all I've got in it right now. I might put more in it eventually. I don't know. Depends on what I see it doing. But the returns, if it went to like $1, was something stupid. I mean, it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. If it went up to $8, it was like 1.6 million, I think. I mean, I'd put those payoffs just to move this thing up $1 with Elon Musk behind it on a horse I would put it on this before I put it on a horse at the racetrack. You know what I mean? The payoff's way better. Okay, so I see people saying people are rude. Listen, I don't give two rats' asses about somebody being rude on here. Ignore them, okay? I don't care about their opinion. I don't care what they have to say. So just ignore them, okay? It's not a big deal. I know the people that are in here to be in here and listen to this, all right? All they're doing is bumping up my viewers for YouTube. Could care less. They can report me. I have not monetized this account. Don't plan on monetizing this account because I don't want them having to scrutinize every video that I put up to stay qualified for it. I told you I didn't get into this for money, and I'm not in it for money. So I'm not going to put it up for it. So, all right, guys. Into the meat and potatoes of tonight's show. And for reference, here's Bitcoin. It's $46,723 a share. And it was upwards of like something stupid like 70,000 or something crazy. No, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it was a lot. I don't look at it that often because I don't feel like something at that. I don't know enough about it to give any suggestion on Bitcoin. I see a lot of people saying don't buy Bitcoin. Cryptocurrency is going to be what goes next. Listen, if you invest in silver, gold, and platinum, that was my first suggestion to you in my past videos. So I've already done that, okay? Silver is probably your best bet. You're bang for the buck, okay? Silver is used in every piece of electronic device, any electronic device ever made, okay? Silver is used. It's not recycled. Not nearly as much as gold would be out of electronics, okay? So it is a non-renewable resource that can only go up in value if we want to keep these handy-dandy little things like cell phones around. So I think it's like sitting at something low, like 19 or 17 bucks, or not 17. I think it's like, last I saw it was like 27 bucks an ounce, okay? Look at how same as Dogecoin compared to Bitcoin. Silver versus gold. Gold can go up, but I can't buy a bar of gold. Okay, I don't have that much money in my bank account right now. All right, but I can buy 20 ounces of silver and have that hard asset, and it has the potential to go up to $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8,000 an ounce at some point when we need it bad enough. 27, James, thank you. I thought that's what it was. So, all right, off the investment part, like I told you, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do, okay? But for me, Dogecoin seemed like it was a good investment, even if I lost that money. Just like gambling, I wouldn't do it unless I planned on losing it, okay? And I wouldn't expect you to do the same. So, video. Let me see if I can put this in theater mode or something. Bear with me. This might go full. Yep, it did. Hold on. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can get this in a bigger... I may not be able to. You're going to have a hard time reading some of it if I can't. If I put it full screen, the way my screens are set up, they're merged together. So like literally if I pull this over here, see that? That's my whole screen. I have 3 screens and they're all one screen. So I can't full screen this to my live because it will literally, you'll just see like this portion of it, the way that my window's set up for screen share. And I can't fit the whole thing, the whole screen on here. I need to mess with my settings. So we're going to play this video, okay? It was posted yesterday, the 25th. It's only got 3,703 views, okay? I don't take it having low views as not being good information because this guy breaks down and puts together some Q posts that are absolutely intriguing, to say the least, all right? So here we go.
Anyone who says Q is a LARP is most likely a paid shill, just trying to scare normal people away from reading Q drops.
And I'm going to say this. I do remember him saying a couple bad words in this. They weren't horrible, but just keep in mind this isn't my video.
You guys know what this represents?
Tell us, sir.
Maybe it's the calm before the storm. What's the storm? Could be the calm before the storm. You'll find out.
This video will prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that the QAnon operation is being run directly from President Trump's White House. This journey begins with the very first Q drops on the afternoon of October 28, 2017. Now this is what Trump posted that very same morning, quote, best consecutive Qs in years. He didn't say quarters, the obvious meaning to anyone reading this, he specifically said Qs. Okay, now Q didn't go by Q in these first few posts. It actually wasn't until a few days later on November 1st titled the post Q Clearance Patriot, alluding to the Q level clearance, which is the highest clearance someone can have in our government, that he began going by Q. But this is what Q did on that first day. He asked a series of consecutive questions. So, on the morning of October 28th, Trump posted best consecutive Qs in years, and later that day, Q posted this. Where's Huma? Why does POTUS surround himself with generals? What is military intelligence? Why go around 3-letter agencies? And on and on. This was the very beginning of the Q post, and I felt a great place to start because that's how the Q posts are mostly in question form. Most shill outfits like to point this out as cryptic, but the majority of them are easily answered, and a lot of them essentially are statements in question form.
Okay, before he gets going into these posts, listen. I cannot put this on full screen. Okay, I literally just said that the way my screens are set up, watch, I'm going to put it in full screen and you won't be able to see the whole thing. I don't think. Maybe you can. If you can, type in that it looks great and you can see it perfectly, but I don't think that's going to be the case. All right, so I'm going to put it full screen for a moment. Y'all let me know. What'd you see? There's a lag here in chat, so what did you see just then? Somebody said no. Black screen. That's what I thought, because when I put it to full screen, the center of this screen goes to my center screen, which I'm using a third-party streaming service that I can create a window to share the screen, but if it won't go big enough to capture all 3 of my screens because it's just the way that they're blended together right now in my graphics software for when I'm gaming. Okay, so that I have 49 inches of curved LED displays in front of me. It's pretty cool. All right, so I haven't been back to change it. So sorry that you can't really read it well. I will post this video on my page on Facebook right after this show. You can watch it there if you want, but just listen in and take some of this in. All right.
The point of the question format, in my opinion, was to get everyone researching. Everyone, including myself, who found Q on November 5th, 2017, we all set off to answer these questions and found that they all led to a very similar, extremely dark places. And now, with all that being said, we can begin. Now, this next example was also a case of Trump posting first and then Q explaining afterwards. This will be the last instance of that. From here on out, all others will be Q posting first and then Trump or something happening that confirms it. But on November 6, 2017, at 4:15, Trump tweeted, quote, "Massive military and energy orders happening, plus, plus, plus." Now, the media jumped on the plus, 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 making fun of him as they do every single day about something, yawn. But what they didn't see is that less than an hour later, Q posted, "Nothing is random, everything has meaning, plus, plus, plus." So what did the plus, plus, plus mean? Well, at that very time, there was a coup going on in Saudi Arabia. Prince bin Salman had held captive a number of prominent Saudi Arabian princes, government ministers, and business people at the Ritz-Carlton, including Twitter majority shareholder bin Talal, the same guy who also owned the upper floors of the Mandalay Bay where their Vegas massacre had been carried out from only a month earlier. As many as 500 people were rounded up. Saudi banks froze more than 2,000 domestic accounts, which according to Wall Street Journal were worth up to $800 billion. The allegations were of money laundering, bribery, extortion, and taking advantage of people for public gain. Now, the day before this Saudi purge, Q had been posting about how Saudi Arabia bribes U.S. politicians and are basically the money end of the global cabal. Q had been posting about Trump's trip to Saudi Arabia, asking why was this significant. Then bam, the very next day is a complete overhaul of corrupt Saudi officials. While this is going on with zero media coverage here in the States, the president makes a tweet with the last line saying massive military and energy orders happening. Plus, plus, plus. Energy? One of our biggest oil providers, Saudi Arabia? And what does this have to do with plus, 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 you ask? Well, plus, plus, plus is code for, you guessed it, Saudi Arabia, with plus, plus being Rothschild and plus being Soros.
So all of this, like, you can literally find on the Q posts. I mean, these are real posts, dated correctly. All right, I've read a lot of these a long time ago. So I'm not sitting here necessarily trying to prove Q to you, but I want to educate some of you on kind of this. This is literally taking you through like the last 3 years in this 29-minute video. So just keep up. It's hard. I know if you could read all of this really good, it might be better. But
the next Q confirm was a pretty simple one. Here we have at 2:35, Q posted, "Confirm, go Twitter, P, act small." And then 5 minutes later, if you went to the President P Twitter, you can confirm that he posted about Small Business Saturday. So that's a fun, easy one. That happened pretty quick. And here's another fun one. Here's an anon lamenting the disregard for our space program over the past few decades. And Q assures him that, quote, "It's coming back in a big way." Pigly. Space is critical to our national security, to which I assumed he meant NASA was going to get a lot of their funding back, but that's not really in a big way. That's just sort of the way it was a while back. You know what is big, though? When Trump confirmed this assertion by Q and announced the newest branch of our armed forces,
the Department of Defense and Pentagon, to immediately begin the process necessary to establish a Space Force as the sixth branch of the armed forces. That's a big statement.
Now, our next Q confirm comes from the WikiLeaks. You know, the website that's published mountains of dirt on the DNC that for some reason everyone refuses to read. Not only refuses to read, but are actually so mad it was released that they want people to go to jail over it. But on January 7th, 2018, Q posted, quote, "Fire and Fury." The very same day, WikiLeaks uploaded a free version of the book. There were only two differences. Chapter 6 spelled home with a Q instead of an O, and Chapter 10 spelled Goldman with a Q instead of an O. Now, in one of the earlier Q posts, it had ended with the Our Father. It seemed odd that thing to include in the post talking about 9/11 and how wars are orchestrated and planned by select families as, quote, mass extinction events. But sure enough, only a few weeks later, Pope Francis announced he would be making a change to the Our Father. But I suppose that's just a coincidence. Now here is speech where Trump mentions the elite and makes an air cue.
These people, I look at them, I say, that's elite? We got more money, we got more brains, we got better houses, apartments, we got nicer boats, we're smarter than they are, and they say, the elite, we're the elite, you're the elite.
Okay, this is a good one.
Now, real quick, it didn't look that obvious. And I mean, it's pretty obvious that he draws a Q, right, with his hand. I never noticed this. And as somebody that has looked into 17 and Q, once I saw this in this video and I go back and watch Trump, there are so many instances now that I catch every one of them. If you, in the beginning of this video, he does it 3 times. Did you catch it? In the first few shots of him, he does it 3 times. He draws a Q with his hand. So you'll see it more in this video, but just now none of y'all are going to be able to watch a video of Trump without looking for it, and you'll see it. I'm telling you.
Now here, this is the anniversary of Trump's election. He posted this image. So now the first thing people realize is that if you connect all the thumbs up, it makes a Q, which in itself is quite the coincidence. But even more definitively, when you go to save the original picture for him from Twitter, the randomly selected source code starts with "do it Q." Now that doesn't blow your mind. I don't know what will. But now this next one was the absolute most eye-opening to me. Now, one of Q's early posts, he had stated, North Korea is not being run by Kim. He's an actor in the play who is the director. At the time, this seemed absolutely astounding. North Korea has been this overt threat for 50 years. This backwards land without electricity that was hell-bent on nuking us. Now Q is saying it's not even run by King John? It sounds good, but it's North Korea. It doesn't matter who runs it. It's trying to nuke us. What's the difference? And the next day, Q made another odd statement, asking if it would blow your mind if Barack Obama had been to North Korea and perhaps was there now. He continues, why after Barack Obama left office did North Korea all of a sudden come up with nukes? That same day, Q mentioned the mountain which collapsed. We obviously blew it up. Funny how that was in and out of the news in a flash. Now, repeatedly, Q over the next few days asked questions. Who really controls North Korea? Even suggesting that some of the money from the Iran deal went directly to North Korea. Now, finally, he asks who controls North Korea again, and then asks who controls several agencies within the U.S., EU, and abroad, which would be the CIA. Now, on December 22nd, he confirms that by asking what do clowns do with access codes and tech? Who controls North Korea? Now, for those of you who are new to this, clowns in America is a nickname for CIA. So when he says clowns, that's what he's talking about. So, okay, the CIA runs North Korea, and through Uranium One, they were able to get uranium to North Korea, and throughout the Iran deal, they were able to get money there. So now, in January 2018, if everyone remembers, there was a big warning given that North Korea now has missiles that can reach the America mainland and the attack is imminent. So we heard these warnings about North Korea all our lives, so this wasn't so out of the ordinary. But then I noticed something. I was looking at this threat for the first time in my life with new eyes, and I took note of where the report came from. The CIA. It was the CIA who was warning of North Korea's imminent attacks. Now I realize everything I just read about North Korea was true, which also meant that Trump really was clearing them out of North Korea and essentially cleaning it up. Then, son of a bitch, North Korea announces they will participate in the Olympics. Everyone was shocked, but people following Q at the time were like, oh shit, this is happening. They were shocked for a different reason. Then, Kim Jong's sister appears with Pence, and Q reports that this means they have been freed. Sure enough, right after that, the peace talks are announced. Then the media reports that it's all blown up and the talks have been postponed and are not going to happen. But Q calmly responds and says talks will go on as scheduled. Sure enough, the talks go down as planned on the original date, and Kim Jong comes off looking less like an evil dictator, like he's been reported to us for all these years and more, someone who was just freed from a life of tyranny, all too eager to make a deal, smiling ear to ear. Wow. But of course, a few days later, a picture from 2014 of a kid in a cage was released, and even though it was later found out to be from Obama's time in office, it didn't matter. It did its job. The fanfare for what happened in North Korea was a distant memory by the end of the week, and a month of Trump locks kids in cages hysteria ensued. Makes you wonder how long they were waiting to release that. Okay, so now back to Pope Francis, who Q stated in April, quote, "The Pope will have a bad May." Sure enough, early May, the Pope admitted to being part of the problem when pertaining to a huge sex scandal. Then, in May, 14 Chilean bishops all resigned at the same time from the Vatican after being linked to a child sex scandal. And then, at the end of the month, the Pope had even stated that he was considering retirement. I would say that's a pretty bad May. Now here we have President Trump pointing to a man in a Q shirt in a crowd in one of his rallies. So ask yourself this, President Trump's been being tagged in Q pose for, 9, 10 months, I forget exactly when this picture is from. But he has not once ever said anything about Q. Now, he's not exactly shy. I don't know if anyone noticed. Our president's not shy. He calls out fake news. Anytime politicians acting fake, Trump calls them out. Anytime the news is acting fake, calls them right out. Fake news. He has not once, one single time, come out and said that this guy who's been posting specifically about Trump, very deep intel in many cases, not once has he come out and either confirmed or denied him. But he does point to people wearing his shirts. He does make air cues.
We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much, Mississippi. Get out and vote. Thank you.
Now here, Q posted no name to return to news. Now, no name is McCain for anyone new to this, because Q had stated long before that the military people behind the scenes, they won't speak his name because he's such a bad person and all the bad things he's done. So he is known as no name in these posts. But McCain hadn't been in the news for a while at this point, not even on that day. So initially this one seemed like a dud. But lo and behold, exactly 1 month later, McCain did return to the news when it was announced that he was discontinuing his treatment. And then the very next day he died at the exact minute of that Q post. Now, knowing what you know about Q not wanting to name McCain and calling him no name, let's see how Trump feels about saying the name John McCain.
One person walked into a room when he was supposed to go this way, and he said he was going this way, and he walked in and he went this way, and everyone said, "What happened? What was that all about?" Boy, oh boy, who was it? I don't know. I don't want to be controversial, so I won't use his name.
Now, a quick one, which is a personal favorite of mine, is when an anon asks Q if he could throw us a bone and add the phrase tip top into one of the president's speeches. Now, this was right before the night of the State of the Union, so obviously that speech had been written for a decent amount of time. But a few months later, Trump, while standing next to the Easter Bunny, which curiously had glasses on, just like the White Rabbit in Alice in Wonderland, quote, "follow the White Rabbit," being a popular Q saying, Trump did in fact inform the world.
We keep it in tip-top shape. We call it sometimes tippy-top shape, and it's a great, great place.
Which brings us now to promises made, promises kept. On March 8th, Q posted that about Trump visiting the Forbidden City in China and ended it with, quote, "promises made, promises kept." Well, 2 days later, at Trump's now famous rally in Moon Township, Pennsylvania, he had two slogans hung up: promises made, promises kept. Still think Trump isn't Q? December 5th, Q posts simply, "Wonder Friends." 2 days later, Trump posts, "Melania and I were thrilled to welcome so many wonderful friends to the White House." On June 12th, Q posts, "Castle arrival good." The next day, POTUS schedule post, "Good to be back at Castle." June 17th, Q posts, "Happy Father's Day" with an exclamation point. 7 minutes later, Trump posts exactly the same with nothing else. Now, in one of the creepier ones, Q posts next week 3 times and then suicide weekend? Question mark. Well, sure enough, 3 weeks go by and that weekend someone shoots himself in front of the White House. Now, May 12th, Q ended his post with "Say the course." 4 minutes later, Trump ended his tweet with a capitalized "Stay." This is a cool one where I went on posted, "Q, if you're reading this, get POTUS to tweet wonderful day." The very next day, Trump made a post with both the words wonderful and day in it. Now here's another fun one. Okay, so when sports teams win their respective championship, they always go to the White House and they'll be presented to the president with a jersey. Now, typically, they always get their number on it. For example, Obama got 44, Bush got 43, Clinton 42. However, Trump opted for each and every one to get the year 17 instead. Now, why would you break tradition like that? It's of note that Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet, which might shed some light on why Trump opted to call out his first 17 months in this post, as opposed to waiting one more for an even year and a half. Now here, on March 28th, an anon posted "Free Flynn." Q responded, "Done in 30. Exactly 30 days later, the House Intelligence Committee released its report clearing Flynn's name. Now, speaking of Flynn, over the summer, people had posted that he signs his book, "Where we go one, we go all." Okay, this next one's a doozy. On January 19th, 2018, Q had stated that 13 members of Obama's cabinet and staff were using private email addresses to communicate. This one fell on deaf ears for 5 months, until being confirmed by the Office of the Inspector General's report that came out on June 14th, where it stated on page 118 that, quote, "Former President Barack Obama was one of the 13 individuals with whom Clinton had direct contact using her ClintonEmail.com account." It was also revealed in that report that the Clinton Foundation was linked to, quote, "crime against children" on the Anthony Weiner laptop. But we don't want to talk about that. I mean, did you see this? The way Trump took a sip of water? Oh my God. Now that's news. Now, this next one illustrates just how dangerous and real things are behind the scenes. But on February 18, 2018, Q had posted "Protect 6/14/46" 2 times, which is the president's birthday. And sure enough, the very next day, a driver from Trump's motorcade is arrested by the Secret Service after having discovered a hidden gun. Now, on March 8th, Q posted the initials RT and a picture of a door. Seems odd, right? Until the headlines next week, "You're fired," the tweet that showed Rex Tillerson, RT, the door. Guys, this is just a bunch of coincidences. Q has clearly been disproven like 100 times. I love that comment. Q has been proven to be fake, right? Now, back on April 27th, Q had stated that Lisa Page was a cooperating witness. Sure enough, a few months later, it was revealed that Lisa Page is in fact a credible witness and cooperating. Now, this next gem goes back to December 24th, 2017, where Q simply posted this picture. Okay, it's a picture of Washington Crossing in Delaware. What's the big deal? Well, the very next day on Christmas, the Department of Defense posted the same exact picture. Now, on January 7th, 2018, Q posted "Goodwin," with "win" in the brackets twice. Then 15 in brackets. Well, of course, this brought out the mathematician in me, and assuming that he was given whatever was in the brackets, a value of 15, and it appeared twice, we have a so-called win-win situation. 15 plus 15 equals 30, and exactly 30 minutes later, President Trump posted thanking Michael Goodwin. Now, on 127, Q posted about John Perry Barlow, whistleblowers, and stating at the end that nobody is safe. He also posted "Heart attacks can be deadly." Well, wouldn't you know it, only a few days later, internet pioneer John Perry Barlow was found dead of a heart attack. Now, also in January of 2018, Q began posting little nods to the Rothschilds. On January 13th, Q made a post that looked mostly like code. He doesn't do this often, but typically these are assumed to be messages to their operatives on the field. But people noticed "fly," which months earlier Q had posted "Fly Rothschild Fly," and at the bottom it said "Happy Hunting." Okay, again, this one was cryptic, so it really wasn't given much thought. Well, the next day, Q posted status from Lindy Rothschild calling Trump a disgrace, saying, "We're closer than you think. Try to get some sleep. It must be difficult," which is a nod to when he had posted that they had heard she couldn't sleep and that they were listening. Now, a few days later, Q posted ++/+ TikTok. This was yet another nod to the Rothschilds, who were established as ++ prior to this when Q was breaking down the top of the cabal. Then, on that same day, Q started posting pictures of Rothschilds with the Pope, with Soros, who was single plus. Then later, a post that wouldn't initially be tied to the Rothschilds, where Q simply posted Black Forest. Now, the Black Forest is a place in Europe infamous for like hunting people and cannibalism. It's associated with the Brother Grimm's fairy tales going back, which, if you read the originals, were full of, pretty bad, pretty dark shit. They're full of human hunting and cannibalism, the whole nine. Q then posted Happy Hunting, set the truth free. Now, days later, the Rothschilds would sell an Austrian hunting estate the size of Manhattan for only a few $100 million. Pennies to the Rothschilds, who are worth over $1 trillion. They just sold the rest of that hunting property in Australia, again, for nothing to them, a few $100 million. These are trillionaires. I mean, people don't realize what $1 trillion is, the ratio of money that they have making $100 million, a fraction of a penny to us. If someone told you you could have a forest the size of Manhattan for 10 cents a year, would you ever sell that? $1 trillion is $1 million a million times. 1 million million. So here we have the Rothschilds selling a hunting estate the size of Manhattan on the heels of Q posting about them and Happy Hunting and the Black Forest, where they hunted humans like animals. And it's of note that they're not the only ones to have curiously tried to protect their money or have sold assets. The Rockefellers sold David Rockefeller's Maine estate for $19 million. Why? These estates stay in these families forever, hundreds of years. $19 million is a couple cents to them. George Soros also gave away $18 billion to his Open Society Fund. I mean, man, if you can't tell things are going on behind the scenes, then you're asleep at the wheel. Now, on November 25th, Q posted that border security equals national security. Well, 17 days or Q days later, the White House posted, quote, "Border security is national security." Now, on December 10th, 2017, Q posted blunt and direct time. Then right after that, he stated that there will be a false flag. The very next day, a man from Bangladesh set off an explosive in New York City. BDT is the name of Bangladeshi currency, blunt and direct time. Now, this is one of my favorite proofs. On June 3rd, 2018, Q posted Boom, 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 a week to remember, dark to light, blackout necessary, in the shape of an upside down 9mm. Well, 9 days later, on June 12th, was President Trump's meeting with Kim Jong-un. On that day, Q reposted this drop with a link to a video that we would later find out was what Trump had shown Kim Jong-un, which looked like this.
The future. Out of the darkness can come the light, and the light of hope can burn bright.
Dark to light. Later that day, President Trump tweeted a link to the exact same video on Facebook, revealing to us that he had shown it to Kim Jong-un. We already knew. Just like we knew about Allison Mack's plea deal 3 days before it happened. April 20th, the very night she was arrested, Q posted that she was naming names. But it wasn't until April 23rd that it came out that she was in fact negotiating a plea deal.
But we're going to win, and we're going to win big. You just watch. We have the cards. They don't.
Now here we have
I've seen that interview like in better audio and video quality of Trump saying, we're going to win. We're going to win big, or whatever he just said. And then he says, Q watch. I don't know if you can hear it over the audio of this, but it is very pronounced that he says Q. Okay? If you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't have caught it. But it's very, very clear, okay, on my end of the audio. Again, you all can watch this. I'll post the link up on my Facebook when we're done.
Q post from December 4, 2017 that states, future proves past. Now, what else does it say? It says, follow the wives and watch the news this week. So now if you fast forward to 1 year later, future proves past, to December 4th, 2018, and think, watch the news this week and follow the wives, what was in the news? The very next day was George Bush's funeral, and if you followed the wives, you would see each one of them getting a special letter in their program, followed by a look of horror. And now, for what I would call my favorite Q confirm of all time, President Trump simply talking about how many times he's been in Washington.
You know, I told the story the other day. I was probably in Washington in my entire life 17 times. True, 17 times. I don't think I ever stayed overnight.
Admiral Rogers and a handful of others. But they're giving you the play-by-play of draining the swamp. There is no news. These aren't news outlets, none of them. They're putting on a show and trying everything to do to not show you anything good that Trump's doing. This is just 100% hit job on Trump. So this right here is the only way to get news. That is why they put out article after article after article after article trying to get rid of Q. That's why you see people online going, you believe Q? Q-tard? Because they want everyone to think, all right, this is crazy. You know, they take things out of context and then solo it out. Or take things like, oh, Q says Mueller is working with Trump, which Q has never said ever. But, you know, this is something that is on the boards that people say. But Q never said that. Trust me, the people looking into this know that this is never in a Q drop. But they run with it. And say, oh, look at this crazy conspiracy theory. You know, they say that JFK never died. You know, JFK, someone who was shot on camera. You know, this is what Rolling Stone does. They conveniently leave off the Junior, which a lot of people do think is still alive and faked his own death. But again, did not come from Q. It actually came from people noticing in a Trump rally where he said very important people were here, that someone looked an awful lot like Carolyn Bessette, and someone also next to her looked an awful lot like JFK Jr. But this never came from Q. But that's what they said, but they picked that. No, they don't want to pick any of the things I just went over to tell you about Q. No, they want to pick that and leave off the Junior and make you think that we actually think someone who was shot on camera on national TV is still alive 50 years later. But anyway, now you have a comprehensive list of what we've been watching in real time since November of 2017. Go to QAnon.pub, put it on your phone, check it out from time to time. It's just going to show you what is going on behind the scenes right now so you can stay ahead of the fake news. Where we go one, we go all.
So I watched that today, and I thought some of y'all should see that. Okay, now again, I'm not here to press this on anybody. All right, I saw this in real time. Okay, just like this guy did. I'm not as good at putting it together, and I haven't taken the time. I haven't had the time to put a video together like this, so I'm showing you his. When I started these videos, I've stated that to me it's statistically impossible for this to come to fruition and for this to be fake. Okay, I'm a very mathematical, like, prove it to me kind of guy, and I was floored over the last couple years at how much of what I was reading in these posts were happening days, months later, years later, on, what's the word I'm looking for? Can't think of it. But just with dates and all the clues that were there, it was too much messed up. Nothing's coincidence anymore. Okay? So don't get on my page and tell me that Q is fake. Okay? And everybody telling me not to say Q, like, I'll say whatever I want. Okay, YouTube doesn't scare me. They're not going to come to my house and arrest me. They can shut down my channel. I don't care. I'll find another way to reach out to everybody. But I'm just going to tell you the way it is, and I'm not afraid to say Q. I'm not afraid of saying a letter, okay, or even referring it to what it actually is. So, awesome video. I'll post it up on Facebook as soon as we're done. You can watch it again later if you want. So yeah, this morning, first thing I wake up and I see a post of the Armenian Prime Minister denounces the coup attempt after armed forces demand his resignation. This is per Reuters off BNO News. I don't know who BNO News is, but I saw it. And there's a Q post here as well from April 23rd, 2018 that says, "Do you believe?" Now, there's probably clues laid out in dates and times and all this stuff. But do you believe the world is awakening? And there's a link to an Al Jazeera.com site about an Armenian prime minister resigns and there's protests. That's all in the key name of this. So it says, why was Armenian mentioned recently? Clowns losing control. Q. So I got another one, right? Just another one that I woke up to with the news of the Armenian prime minister denouncing the coup. There are literally Su-37 fighter jets and other Soviet Union jets flying circles around the country as he's out trying to gather supporters because he is scared poopless right now, okay, that he's about to get overthrown by the government. Weird that that's happening again, and it's really the situation we're sitting in today here in the United States of America, which we know as people that understand what's actually going on, not from mainstream media so much, but a lot of you that have an idea from Q what is actually happening aren't scared of this, okay? We're not scared of the idea of this because we understand where Trump lies in our government or in our 75, I think it's more like 100 million Americans deep group of followers. We're not afraid of what's coming, okay? So I posted this earlier, and it was President Trump issuing a warning to Iran after the U.S. embassy attack. They found unexploded ordnance, UXOs, that were from Iran, or I'm sorry, I forget where they were from. I don't want to say where they were from because I don't really remember. I remember seeing it, but it pissed Trump off enough to say that, listen, we're warning you. Okay, and a lot of people got on me that this is from December 23rd, 2020. Like, I know when it was from. My point in this is that he warned them December 23rd, 2020. And let me remind you of something. Trump never says anything that he does not mean. I've said that countless times on this channel. And he never says something without following through with it. I'm not going to go into reading the article. He pretty much warned them, okay? We're getting long on the video here. So today, somebody had posted about how Jack Posobiec tweeted today, Kamala Harris was not informed prior to the Syrian bombing and is very upset about being left out of the loop per White House official. There's been news on it that Kamala, what? Like, she had no idea. Donald Trump Jr., and I guess it was this morning, tweets, was Joe Biden informed? Like, why else would you ask that question if you're not implying that Joe Biden didn't even know that this bombing occurred? Here's the beauty behind this, folks. I want you to think about this for a moment. I want to explain to you 5D chess playing and Trump and his team's ability to stay 5 steps ahead of the enemy. Okay? I don't have the tweets from Biden and his administration back in the far left and every mainstream media outlet out there pretty much denouncing the fact that Trump was going to start war in the Middle East, and we hate the idea. It pretty much got down to the point that they hated the idea of Trump doing this and that he was poised to do it, and they were against it. Now that President Biden is in office and controlling the military, he now has to wake up this morning, or whenever this happened yesterday, and get briefed by somebody that Syria just got bombed, and he has to either play along with the idea that, well, yeah, that's what happens when you attack a U.S. embassy or whatever it happened, and own up to bombing Syria, which he completely condoned not even a year ago. So, or pretty much admit that he has no control over the military and Trump did it. Do I think that I want to call him something else, but I'm just going to call him Biden. You really think Biden called that bombing? And you think the military was like, okay, let's go bomb Syria? Off Biden's word. Negative. For one, Trump has control of the military for at least another 24 days. And I don't have the EO. I don't have it all up, and I don't remember it exactly. But pretty much Trump has a presidential transition stage where he can keep control of the military. Okay? And I think it's like 60 days after the election or the inauguration. So if you want my opinion on the bombing in Syria, I don't care what mainstream media, even Fox News or anybody else is telling you. I think Trump just carried out what he told Syria he would do if they didn't stand down. And do you think that he was going to let Biden let that slip under the rug without something happening to him? Resident Biden, I like it. Cool. I've heard that one. I just don't ever remember it because I don't say it often enough, but that's what I'm going to use. He's Resident Biden. And here's a post from Amir Safari, or Safadi. I don't know how you say his name. He's got 35,000 subscribers. I don't know if he's from there. I saw some comments that were down below this as well, and he seems okay. I don't know, but this dude, I don't know that he's a reliable source, but he put on Telegram, just so you know, the American strike on Iranian-backed militias in Syria last night was a joke. A nearly empty compound was hit. If Iraqis attacked you on Iraqi soil, why would you then strike anyone in Syria? They did it to say that they did it, to save face. Now Biden can run back to the Iran deal. That's his opinion, but he seems like it wasn't a huge deal as far as the airstrike. So he's got the opinion that Biden can run back to the Iran deal. Yeah, he's definitely going to, and that's if he were playing the cards right now, that would be his next move, right? If he's wanting to carry out his agenda. What else we got? Oh, and to end the night, kind of the last slide that I'm going to bring up. This was today. This is from Disclosed TV. Judge rules Maricopa County must provide 2.1 million ballots from the 2020 election to the Arizona Senate for audit under subpoenas. That was at 1:22 p.m. So a lot of people have opinions on that, whether, they've already wiped the machines or whatever. Whatever your input is on it. All that I'm telling you is that now there are subpoenas involved with auditing Maricopa County's election results and the ballots. 2.1 million ballots. Let's see what comes out of it. All right, everybody. Looking forward to Sunday. I know we're all looking forward to hear Trump speak at CPAC. Oops, I accidentally muted my mic. I know I'm going to be looking forward to it. Before I close this out, and while I'm on here with you to make sure I do it, let me find it. Rumble. Here we go. Share. Actually, I just need to copy this link. I'm going to put a link to that video on Facebook. It's just going to have an American flag Q on it. You can see it right there. All right. So guys, I hope that was enlightening for you some. That's my opinion on what happened in Syria today. I hope you guys understand kind of where my mind's been at and where a lot of us Anons' minds have been at over the last couple years, and kind of why we feel so strongly about this as we do, because it's not coincidence anymore. There comes a point where there's too much coincidence that it just becomes probable. Okay, by the numbers. Yes, 3:40 p.m. Eastern Time, Trump's scheduled to speak. There's a lot of other news that I came across today. Today was a busy day, but I saw that video and I just knew that some of y'all needed to see it, because I think there's a lot of doubt creeping in on a lot of you. A lot of other people, we call them naysayers in business, you know, the people that can't do what you do or know what you know, and they want to bring you down. There's a lot of those people. A lot of you are dealing with those types of people in your homes. I get it. But even if you keep it to yourself, just know we're going to be okay. And I've said this on a lot of shows. We're going to be okay. There's a plan in place. I don't care what anybody says. I don't even care if Don Jr. came out and said there's no plan in place. I don't know what everybody's talking about with Q. I'm going to take that with like a grain of salt, okay? Like, you can't, I don't care who tells me that Q's not real. I'm going to look at him in the face and just agree to disagree, okay? So we will end in prayer tonight. So if you want to bow with me and pray, you're more than welcome to. If you don't, that's okay. But that's how we're going to start ending our show from now on, because I'm trying better to do that out loud. So bow with me if you will. Dear God, I hope that the people that watch this show tonight are more confident in their decision to stick with us, to stick with Trump, to stick with the Republic, to stick with God, and not be shunned out by those that want to cast a shadow over all of us as bad people, as terrorists, as what's wrong in America today. Let them know and let them feel that it's the right thing that we're doing. Our minds and hearts are in the right place, and we follow you. And if that's bad and if that's terroristic, then I guess I'm a terrorist. God, we love you. We hope that everything that is heavy on all of our hearts is lifted, and that we all are able to see through the smoke and see the truth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Y'all have a great night. I hope you like the show. Give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. Subscribe if you want to see the next video. Follow me on Facebook if you want to just keep up on my daily posts. And yeah, I still didn't get merchandise put up. I'm hoping, I'm pushing for Sunday. I said that last video. I want to get some new merch out, so maybe tomorrow I'll have some time for that between packing and doing other things. So have a great night. Love you all, and we'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, check out the merch if you haven't checked it out. If you want to check out the merch, just exit out of chat. You'll see it in the description of the video. Check out the t-shirts. There's a couple cool ones. I make a couple bucks off of each shirt. I think I've made like a total of $40 off of selling merchandise. Okay, I'm not getting rich off this, guys. and I don't plan on it. So, but I think they're cool shirts. They're a little bit of what, where my mind's at.